Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel Kings Down Roots. My name is Matt Rideout, R-I-D-O-U-T, and today we're going to be talking about how Stockx sent me a pair of damaged sneakers and what happened next. Okay, so like most people, I use Stockx to buy sneakers, streetwear and accessories when I can't actually cop them at the retail prices. I like using Stockx because you usually get a good deal and it's relatively easy to use. Stockx also has a pretty good authentication policy, so pretty much 9.9 times out of 10 you're gonna get a real pair of sneakers too. Now, I've used Stockx for probably the last 2 or 3 years at least, and I've spent around £10,500 on 22 items, which is quite a lot of money to spend on sneakers and streetwear and accessories, but you know what, I like doing it. So with this kind of purchase level, I like to think that I'm a pretty good customer in the eyes of Stockx. So I like to think if anything nasty or bad happens to a purchase that I make, that, you know what, they'll be the kind of business and company that will look out for me and actually make sure that I get what I actually pay for and that nothing bad happens. That is not the case. So for an upcoming video, I decided to purchase a couple of pretty high premium priced products from So for one of my future upcoming videos, I decided to purchase a pair of the Nike SB Dunk Strangeloves, which I actually already own, but I was purchasing from an investment point of view. More about that video another time, but these are the Strangeloves right here. I paid £690 for them, which was I think it was a bid. I didn't actually pay an ask price, which I think is pretty much an average cost for these sneakers at the moment, which is a lot more than I paid when I originally copped them back in like 5 or 6 months ago. So yeah, I unboxed it, I opened it up, saw the Stockx receipt, which said I paid quite a lot of money for these shoes, and then started to look at the shoes in detail. So let me get them out so I can show you. So as I kind of looked at these sneakers in more detail, because I wanted to make sure that there were no problems with them or no marks, I discovered the first problem. Now the first problem are a couple of small glue marks on the front toe box, which you can see are kind of spaced apart quite evenly. It almost feels like there was a tag placed there or something was put on top of the front. So I'm not entirely sure what has happened to these shoes. Obviously it's got the mark on them. I don't know whether or not it's the seller that's made the mark or if these are manufacturing marks. And it's such a shame because these shoes are so nice. They are so good, and they are a great investment piece, which is kind of why I purchased them in the first place. Now obviously I was a bit disappointed, a bit angry, a bit frustrated with the situation, and then I discovered the second problem with the shoes. So I'm not sure whether or not you're going to be able to see this or not, but there is a scuff mark on the outside of the same shoe, which you can see is a slight discoloration. There is a definite scratch there, and it should not be on the shoe. So luckily I did cop these shoes originally, so I have another pair of shoes to show you, which you can see right here that there is no scuff mark on the original pair that I bought. So these are not meant to have this mark on, they shouldn't be there, but they do have it on the shoe, which is really disappointing. So me just talking in this video with this kind of studio light that I've got in this room, I've just noticed a third fault on the same pair of shoes. Like there are scratch marks around the heel, around the ankle stitching. It almost looks like someone's used a fingernail to dig into the leather, or maybe it's been scratched by something. Okay, so this has got 3 problems with the shoe that now I can't do anything with. So I don't know what it is, but when I get in a situation where I know I have to return a product, and you hear about these horror stories on websites like Stockx and Goat, etc., I started to get a bit worried, and I really actually wasn't sure of what steps I needed to do to actually replace these shoes or try and get a refund. Now I'm not joking, it probably took me about 10-15 minutes to actually find the form which I had to submit to actually try and claim money back on these shoes, which wasn't easy. So if you do not start a claim within 3 days on Stockx of receiving your shoes, you just cannot get a refund, which is just crazy. Like 3 days, people might be on holiday, people might not look at the shoes straight away, like it's just mad. So I think 3 days is pretty harsh. Luckily for me, I had only had these shoes for 1 day, so I was able to submit a claim through their system. However, there were 2 other requirements you have to go through before you can actually submit them. You need to also make sure that these are unworn and they still have their tags on them, and also you have to send a load of photos with the shoes to verify that they are the shoes you bought, which I kind of understand and it makes sense. So me being a good customer, I took all of these photos, very, very clearly, making sure that you had the QR code on the Stockx verification label included in that. You have to get different angles of the shoe, the whole shoe, the box, the packaging, all these kinds of details. So I took all these photos, attached them to the complaint, and then submitted that to Stockx. Then 48 hours later, I get a reply from Stockx. Not the reply I was hoping for, but a reply saying, for us to investigate this situation, we need you to send the photos. So I then had to resend the photos to Stockx after waiting 2 days. Then 12 hours later, I got a reply from a Stockx representative that said, unfortunately, we are unable to help you with this situation because the faults that you have described and shown us are actually manufacturing warehouse faults, which for me is a bit weird because there are faults on them, they're damaged, they are not in dead stock condition. However, they stated in their email that their dead stock condition can include manufacturing faults or damages. So I didn't know that. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people didn't know that. So at this point, I'm pretty angry. You know, I'm mad at the situation because you know what? I'm not able to refund these shoes. I'm not able to get my money back, and I'm just left with these shoes and I'm not sure what to do with them. Me not being one to kind of leave this alone, I did email them back and I just kind of explained that I didn't think this was an acceptable outcome of this situation and that, you know, what was I meant to do with these damaged shoes now? Their response to that was a bit half-hearted. They offered me a $40 discount code and a free shipping code too, which doesn't really help me with the £690 I've just spent on a pair of shoes on the platform. So I am now pretty much stuck with these shoes which have manufacturing faults on them that don't really look like dead stock to me, and there's nothing I can do about it. Stockx will not accept a refund on the shoes, which I think is just terrible. Terrible, 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 terrible. So I'm now faced with the kind of moral dilemma of whether or not I sell these on Stockx, because I don't want someone else to get these shoes because someone else is going to be upset and disappointed just like me. So besides that, you're actually faced with seller fees and other kind of fees on top of that, which would mean that I'd have to sell these shoes for like considerably more than I paid for to even kind of get my money back. So either way, that's not a good solution and I'm not too happy about doing that. So the kind of final option I have, which I guess is morally better, is that I just place these back on eBay. It's a platform that I know how to use, and I call out the faults. Now, me doing that is going to reduce the value of the shoes considerably. I doubt very much I'm even going to get near £500 for them now. So yeah, not a good outcome overall. Like, I guess overall, I'm just really disappointed in the service provided by Stockx. Firstly, that they're going to send shoes out in these conditions. Like, we expect dead stock shoes to be dead stock. There should not be any faults with them whatsoever. They shouldn't be worn. They shouldn't be tried on. That should be the state of the shoes that we get because we are paying a premium to purchase them. That's kind of the end of the story, I guess, about what's going to happen. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do. Maybe there will be a part 2 of this video, maybe not, but that is the state of the situation. Okay, so that's it from me today. I've been Matt Rideout. This has been Kingsdown Roots. If you've enjoyed my video, then please drop me a comment and a like down below. It means the absolute world to me. You can also follow me on Instagram up here. I post a lot of content on there too. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.